30-year-old Olsi Kuka was an Albanian drug dealer based in the North Finchley area of London. At the time of his that was described as tortuous, barbaric and inhumane. A gang had robbed him of 3 kilos of weed allegedly. The Old Bailey heard that 19-year-old Rueben Bernard, who is from Nottingham, who was only 17 years old at the time of the along with pals Santana Thomas, Bulent Bakir and daige Ramsey and ozan seran, had stormed Olsi's flat armed with at least 2 long blades. The gang had travelled to Olsi's address in 2 separate Mercedes that were fitted with fake plates. The gang had then convened outside the flat in High Road, North Finchley, just before 3 a.m. on May 11th of 2022. They then devised their plan. The aim was simple: confiscate all the cash and all the dra. Now, police says one of the Mercedes which were used to carry Rueben and co. to Olsi's flat had been snapped driving around North Finchley 4 days prior. The gang then forced their way into the flat while Olsi Kuka was asleep. The gang brazenly marched from room to room and found a stash of weed allegedly worth up to £30,000. The Albanian dealer was dragged out of bed and held, rooted in place. One of the gangsters had used a bbed and then interrogated Olsi, demanding the stash of dra and also the money. Now, Olsi explained that there was no more dra and there was definitely no cash. At the belief of no cash, the gang pressed the bbed to Olsi's head and pressed the trig 4 times at least. It was then alleged that Santana, Bulent, daige and ozan left the flat at the prospect of not finding the cash, however leaving Rueben alone with Olsi, armed with alleged 2 blades. Rueben then bladed Olsi 10 times before running out of the flat. When forensics found the unalive Olsi, there were 4 metal barbarians embedded into his scalp and he was covered in red, still in his bed. Olsi Kuka, who was Olsi's cousin, was ambushed as well in the same incident and he was also himself. However, he was able to call emergency services. When police investigated the drug-related police used police dogs to search for clues. A police dog actually discovered £10,000 in cash hidden in Olsi's headboard. Police concluded that Olsi Kuka had been tortured into giving up the whereabouts of dra and the dirty cash. And when Rueben Bernard was arrested and was told that he'll be charged with the murder, the colour in his face turned to ashen grey. His defence tried to claim self-defence, explaining that Olsi had pulled out a gun, so selfless Rueben had swung at Olsi in order to get him to drop the item. In a spur-of-the-moment decision, Rueben was then forced to blade Olsi 3 times in the shoulder, or be bladed himself. It was someone else then that had aimed Olsi Kuka. However, the judge says that every member of the gang were equally as guilty, as they had travelled in a stolen car and forced their way into Olsi's flat with the purpose of taking his dra and also money for financial gain, and they were willing to do anything in order to get what they wanted. Ozan Seran, who was 29 years old, was told to be the boss of the gang and the man who set the robbery in motion. He was jailed for 11 years and 5 months after pleading guilty to manslaughter. 25-year-old daige Ramsey was jailed for 11 years for the same crime. 21-year-old Santana Thomas was jailed for 10 years for the same crime. 27-year-old Bulent Bakir was jailed for 6 years for conspiracy to rob, and as for Rueben Bernard, he was jailed for life for the with a minimum term of 22 years. It was also revealed that Rueben had been recruited by Ozan Seran to help with the robbery with the promise of £5,000. Does the crime match the sentence? Let me know. Stay safe.